How's it going, everyone? This is Tom, and this is the Nexus 5. It's a fantastic phone, but there definitely are some things I dislike about it, so let's jump straight in. If you're unaware, I have actually done a 5 things I love about the Nexus 5 video as well, so that will be linked in the top bar of the description if you want to go and check that out before watching this one. First off, I want to talk about expandability. The Nexus 5 is not an expandable phone by any means. You can't replace the battery. It's not a reuser replaceable battery, so you can't just pop out one when you run out of juice. You also can't expand the storage with a micro SD card. You're stuck with the storage you originally buy with the phone. I think this would be fine if they'd gone with a unibody design, but it's actually kind of a separate backplate, like it is on something like the Samsung Galaxy S4, so they could have theoretically just allowed that to be removed. Obviously the phone would have to be slightly restructured, but it is possible to have a replaceable battery accessible with that backplate. Moving on then from talking about the replaceable battery is the fact that the battery life on this Nexus 5 is not that great. I would par it to something like the iPhone 5, which it's fine, but it's just not great. It's not there yet. You can get through a day, but that's with moderate use. If you're using your phone a lot, you are going to have to recharge with something like this. This is a just mobile external battery pack, and it does a good job, but you don't want to have that as a hassle when using a phone like the Nexus 5. I managed to get about 3 to 4 hours of screen on time with the Nexus 5, and that's at about half brightness before it actually dies on me. Next, this is probably the most famous feature that is not up to par on the Nexus 5. It's the speakers. The speakers are very tinny, and they just sound cheap on this phone, I'm afraid. It's understandable given the phone's price point. They do cut corners to produce the phone at roughly the $350 mark, and the speaker is really a place where it gets hit. Obviously, the HTC One is a more expensive phone, but it does have a fantastic speaker, so I thought it'd be interesting to compare and show you what the actual difference in sound sounds like between these two speakers. Just before we actually get to the sound, you can see the size. The left speaker on the Nexus 5 near my thumb there is actually the only speaker on this phone, so obviously the size difference here between the HTC One, which has 2 speakers, the top and the bottom, is obviously going to be substantial, so you will definitely see a difference in the comparison. I'm actually recording the audio of these phones in post, the same video starting with the Nexus 5. And this is the Samsung Galaxy S4. Last night at Samsung's press event, Samsung Unpacked in New York City, and also in Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, Samsung announced the next generation of their Samsung Galaxy S line, the Samsung Galaxy S5, so I thought it'd be an interesting video to kind of count down 5 of the coolest new features that come with. And now the HTC One. And this is the Samsung Galaxy S4. Last night at Samsung's press event, Samsung Unpacked in New York City, and also in Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, Samsung announced the next generation of their Samsung Galaxy S line, the Samsung Galaxy S5, so I thought it'd be an interesting video to kind of count down 5 of the coolest new features that come with the Samsung Galaxy S5. Obviously not the most scientific test, but does illustrate the difference in the speakers. Next up is the weird design with the camera, and it just kind of bugs me. This isn't a huge issue, apart from the fact that it makes it rock on the table. The camera actually protrudes from the phone ever so slightly, about 1 millimeter out, and it kind of just makes it uneven on surfaces, just looks a bit weird, and I just feel like it would have been much better flush with the phone. I like the design of it, the fact that it's black on the red, and you kind of get the, at least with the white and the red, you get the color difference. It's just weird that it protrudes. These are my 5 reasons. They're not going to be the same for everyone, so we're going to finish up with integration with iOS and OS X. I use Macs and iPads pretty much on a daily basis, so the fact that the Nexus 5 doesn't integrate for me as well as an iPhone would is actually a problem. I tend to use a lot of Google services now. I'm getting more into cloud-based solutions like that, but things like iMessage and just other necessities that come with OS X and iOS in general, already baked into the operating system, I am really missing. There we have it, guys. There's my 5 reasons why I hate or why I dislike the Nexus 5. Again, I did do 5 things I love about it, so make sure you check that video out. I'm not biased towards any operating system, don't you worry about that. If you have enjoyed and made it to this point in the video, I would really appreciate it if you did give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more videos just like this one, and I will catch you guys next time.